Guys, how's it going? Philip at Trade Genius. We got a lot to talk about in this video. Really briefly before I get into it, we always rely on our swing indicator. Works on, we like it on the hourly, 4-hour, and daily. And one of the challenges was we just couldn't get TradingView to signal like an alert to our emails or phones. And we've figured that out, and we were going to call this the Crypto Express service. It's really a time saver because you don't have to be in front of the charts. But you can see here, signal a short down here. Fired long, kind of chopped, fired short, and then we had a drop. Fires long again, and now we have a nice move up on Bitcoin. That's like on a 4-hour. Works, daily chart I could show you here on like Litecoin. Boom, here, short move down. Signals long, move up. Says nope, short, nice move down. Now we've got another signal here, long, and we're starting to make our move back up. So it works really well. And Crypto Express covers 45 different altcoins that we picked out that are nice movers. And I think it's going to really be effective. So I just wanted to point that out, guys. We're running a special where you're going to get that and the chat room for $3.99. So just head over to tradegeniusacademy.com and you can just pick spring special number 1. And they've bundled the room with it, which they usually don't do. So for a year, I think just the signal service alone is worth $3.99 just because of the time it saves. But they're throwing on the room and everything. So check that out. I think it's a big time saver. I think it's worth getting. All right. So with that being said, let's dive into today's video.
Trade Genius.
All right, so the whole alt space has been doing really well this week, and in reality, most of April has been pretty positive for the entire crypto space. And so what I wanted to do is kind of take a step back, take a look at things from past historical perspective, and what we can look forward to as far as if you're in positions, key spot to look to tighten up those stops. And one thing about the crypto space and alts tend to spike and have really good percentage gains in terms of BTC, but the name of the game in the alt space is to take profits often, and because you'll always have these opportunities to buy these pullbacks. So anyway, let's get into it. Right here we have a market cap chart, and you can notice there's basically I drew like a support and resistance line here at 500 billion. Here we are over here. I believe these things kind of act like a tractor beam or a magnet, and so I definitely think we're going to see that move up, and we're going to tag that 500 billion. I think that's where we're at right now. Any fluctuations in between this upward trend is just going to be noise, but definitely I think that's the next place that we're going to. We may see a little bit of a pullback when we get to it, like over here, but definitely I think that we're definitely on that train ride to that 500 billion market cap at this point. If you were to take a look at, this is like the past year, you notice last year in April, things going into April were kind of sideways, wasn't anything too spectacular. Once we got into April, we saw a little bit of a general trend up, and then once we started getting into May, really just a big move up, which then tapered off into June, and that's where you kind of started to see all of the alts last year make their highs and then generally sold off. And then the rest of this move was basically on the shoulders of Bitcoin grinding higher. I think this year we're going to see more participation in the alts versus that short-term spike and then a long sell-off period. Not to say that there won't be that similar type of behavior. It's just I don't think that the bearish periods in the alt markets will be as long. There's just this year is much different than last year in terms of volume. There's more players, more institutional investors, so it's not going to be exactly the same. But that being said, you can see where this time of year is typically bullish in the crypto space. So this was last year, and now you can see this year, if we were to zoom in again in this time frame, you see April, you got a little bit of a trend up, actually a nice trend up, and then we're starting to get into May, and we get this nice move up here, and that looks to get steeper. Like I said, we head into most likely the 500 billion mark, and we may see some consolidation at that point. If we look at our buddy Flame in the Trade Genius room, does a great job of these alt versus Bitcoin charts. As you can see here, Bitcoin's in this orange color, alts are in purple, and essentially alts, as long as they're above the zero line, this is a basket of Binance altcoins, and as long as they're above the zero line, then they're doing better as a group of alts. If you were to look at it like if you were 100% alts, you would be doing better than if you were in Bitcoin. So that's how you read that. But it also helps us see the correlation. So you can see when Bitcoin thrusts higher, it does put some negative pressure on the alts. So that's still there. The thing though is that you'll see the alts will bounce back. So like down here on this 24-hour chart, you saw that where Bitcoin pumped. We had a drop lower on the alts, but then they recover. This is what I call the knee jerk, and it's another knee jerk. So actually here is probably a good spot where you're looking to buy some pullbacks on some alts that have pulled back. So across the board, there's some alts that are pumping. You got things like ETH that are really doing well. Like here, and have a 9, the sequential count on this, it's already at a 9 count, and it's overbought on the hourly, but that could chop and consolidate and then move higher, as opposed to pulling all the way back to 0.074. You got things like Tron's, here's one example where it's pulled back, and this is going to be looking to be a buy here pretty soon. So that's the kind of stuff where you got different things going on, but as a whole, the alt market's doing really well. This is Bitcoin. We'll get to that in a second. But as you can see, over the last 5 days, look at the alts versus Bitcoin. So they've been doing quite a bit better. Again, this is a basket of Binance alts. So interesting perspective there. But these things tend to, Bitcoin tends to catch up to that. So, but again, just because we see these knee-jerk reactions doesn't mean it's, multi-week, multi-month Hulk smash where Bitcoin is just, grinding higher at the expense of the alts. I don't think that's quite the case. These are just opportunities to buy the dips right now. So I want you guys to be aware of that correlation. All right, real quickly on Bitcoin, then we'll wrap this up. This is the long-term fork that we're in. Essentially, guys, the pink areas is overbought, oversold. So we're oversold. This is big picture now. This is big position type swing trading. So this is your buy levels, and then this is your levels where you're probably going to want to take profit. As you can see, this is moving into this whole trajectory is in play because we've whacked the top and the bottom of it. But these lines represent the first of the year. So this is 2018. This is 2019. So you got quite a wide range here. And you're kind of basically shooting for the median, and that's close to 90, about 100,000, let's say. And so I know a lot of people think that's just way too bullish, but I don't. I think that if you already look at the volume this year, it's way higher than last year at this time of year. So I think that you're just going to get used to these types of moves in Bitcoin, where they're going to go up, down, up. It's going to be really big. It's going to make this pullback from 20 to sub 6,000. It's going to make that look small. I think you're going to have pullbacks, as things progress and mature. The volatility will level off over time, guys, but it requires that more people there's a broader base of people holding BTC. So I would look for Bitcoin to still have volatility for a while, until such time, and this is maybe like 2-3 years down the road, where that volatility starts to level off. But we have $30,000 pullbacks, $40,000-$50,000 pullbacks. I think that's definitely in the cards. You just have to know that that's going to happen, and ultimately you have to have a hodl strategy. I think you should also have a swing trading strategy, and ultimately there's tax implications and things like that for tax events. So you just have to do what's best for you. But that's just the ride that's going to be. But it's going to be quite a ride over the next 2 to 3 years. Back to Bitcoin immediately, what's going to happen here? We are moving up into the 200-day moving average. You see that here. That's this line here. And we touched this again. And again, these things act like tractor beams or magnets. And this is right about 10,000. I think that's basically where we're headed, guys. This move's going to 10,000 now. And if we touch that again, the probability at that point of busting through is pretty high. And then I think we're probably looking at ultimately a move without too much resistance to 14,000 area. So getting back above this longer term trend line, which is this line here, and you can see that's a log trend line from way back. Getting back above that's key. And once you get above those levels, then they act as support. You can see how this bounced off of it. Support came in, fought at that level, and then failed. And now we're grinding up back against it. That kind of broke through, but then you had the 200-day right above it. Now they're going to coincide. So breaking this level at this point, 10,000, very key. The next key level above that will be 11,700, which we've been harping on for quite a long time. But that'll be the next key level to basically breach at that point. Okay, guys, well, that's pretty much it for this video. Just kind of wanted to give you guys kind of the current snapshot of what's going on in the alt space. Very bullish. I think May is going to continue to be bullish. But if you're swing trading that stuff, just remember, take profits often. If you're hodling, then looks like you're going to have a really good month. And again, if Bitcoin does one of these knee-jerk moves higher, you're going to see an initial pullback on the alts. I think those are buying opportunities. And I think that things like 4-hour signals and stuff like that with our swing indicators are really going to be profitable. So, and we have that Crypto Express service that you can sign up for. Those will fire those 4-hour signals right to your phone. And that's really helpful. So it helps you go to those charts and get positioned on a trade. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.
Trade Genius.